The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newy Scruggs.
Players Lounge on a Monday. Let's ride.
Why you do that, Dan? Huh? Why you do your neck like that? Why you?
They do the intros. Let's go ahead. We need to put church number 2.
He said Barry Church. I said, oh, all right. Man, y'all wrong, boy. Y'all do a player wrong, boy. Let me tell you something, man. Listen, I went back and listened to a few episodes when I was off the show. Y'all didn't give me no break, so I don't want to hear.
Well, we couldn't divulge where you were.
That's just true.
Yeah.
We couldn't.
And y'all leaned more into it then.
I think
we couldn't.
I thought I gave the proper. I thought it was proper when I said Danny's on assignment.
Yeah, the first time. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I tried, because that way I didn't give away anything, and people think he was on assignment. So that's what I did.
Now the third time y'all was on.
We just moved on, bro. You know,
Who's on him then?
it's what it was. You know what it is. you know where he is.
Wah. It's good.
Heckma Harrison, Danny McCray, Newy Scruggs. Barry Church day off. Church has got a couple sick little ones. So, you got to take care of your kids. That's priority. So, boom, do what you do there, bro.
Good excuse.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
Yes, it's always a good reason.
But it's a reason. He ain't here. Nah. We miss you, Church.
Look, I don't want him on Zoom.
No.
Yeah.
I remember them days.
Exactly. You don't want him on Zoom.
Hey, get him on Zoom. He just show out when he on Zoom. He sit behind the wine gallery. You know what I mean? Come on now. He got the whole foyer behind him. The whole.
I have money.
Yeah. You know what he does.
I got
Come on.
the bag. I did get the bag.
You could have picked anywhere in the house except for, you got the wine cellar behind. Oh, okay. I got you. Thank you.
I remember the time I did a Zoom with LT, and Tomlinson did it in his like theater room.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Just rub it in your face.
Oh, I'm like, why am I going out to the Look Theater? I just need to go to your house. I mean,
That man got a legit theater.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well have the Academy Awards. Then Chris Rock in the tux and go live from LT's house.
Got some money, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, he took care of it very well. ESPN Football Power Index is out, and the Cowboys are number 8. The Jets are 6.
Throw the whole list away.
Cowboys play the Jets in week 2.
Oh,
Home opener.
Throw the list away because the Jets are above the Cowboys?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand all this hype behind the Jets, which is good for the Cowboys because we'll let every people have a shine. But I just think, why are people buying into this Jets thing? Anyway, your number 1 team on the Power Index list, Kansas City, as it should
Deservedly
be. Okay,
so.
No problem with that. Number 2 is Buffalo. Number 3, Philadelphia.
No problem.
You good?
Man, I don't know, man. I know how last season ended and all that, but man, the Cincinnati Bengals to me, I think they're better than the Buffalo Bills.
Well, they are on the list.
I know they're on the list, but I'm saying when you list the top 3, I just think.
So you said they should be at number 2 instead of below.
I don't know. I don't think Buffalo should be at number 2. I think Philly should be at number 2, and then probably Cincinnati at 3, and then Buffalo below them. I mean, we watched the Super Bowl game. It was this close.
Right. One
team and Philly went got better on paper. So I don't understand how Buffalo is then ahead of them.
I think Josh Allen the Josh Allen argument is always intriguing. I mean, yeah, the Pixie does. I'm telling you who he is. But I think people make a lot of him and his ability. And any team that has gone to a Super, it's been because of the playoffs. It's been because of their quarterback. You know what you need. And so Buffalo is always going to be in contention because of Josh Allen and also, Stephon, man. They got some really good players. And they got a damn good defense also to go with that.
I'm going to go with what you're saying. I'll take it a bit further, because this is true, because I've talked to too many people, my friends who work there. There is an East Coast bias when it comes to these ESPN type things.
Okay.
It's an East Coast bias, and it also becomes a bias of who they like. Be it, hey, we're going to talk about the Cowboys and plump them up high. We'll talk about the Lakers. They do that there. to disrespect a man who's actually been to a Super Bowl versus another guy who's a good football player. Okay, I think Josh Allen is a when you talk about the top 5, I would put him there along with Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow went and did that thing. I mean, you talk about not a whole lot of help. That offensive line was terrible. I mean, if they have some help up front, they might have pulled the whole thing off. Right. So I do see your point when you talk about the disrespect, and I do think that's because when you're a Midwest team, I do think you get ignored by an ESPN and the types of things, the rankings and things like that.
So you're saying Cincinnati should be number 2 or Philly should be number 2? Where are you?
I would say this. I would put the Bengals ahead of Buffalo in the power index. I agree with him on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, you made a comment last show that we had that there's always a team that's going to come from the bottom of the barrel and work their way up. And I think we saw that from Philly, even though they were a playoff team. They crawled in to the 7th seed in the playoff. And they were that team last year, to me, that came from the basement all the way to the top to play in a Super Bowl. And it's the time, consistency, and proof thing for me.
See, but when I brought that, we're talking about last place. Like every year, there is a team who was finished last the year before who wins their division.
Jacksonville.
Bingo.
Yeah, well.
And Philly, for me, I mean, I wasn't surprised. I picked them to win the division. A lot of people thought Philly was ripe and ready to win that division.
Well, after the acquisition of A.J. Brown and all the things that they did in the offseason, yeah, you'd have been a fool not to think that. But I'm talking about a team that maybe they didn't put them at number 2 because they're waiting on them to show that time, consistency, and proof to put them at number 2. Look, last season, I'm not wanting to call that a joke, all right? But do it again.
Okay.
Let's do it again. And I would put the Bengals there. Because
their consistency is shown. They back-to-back 2 years in a row, couple plays away from being back where they were back in the Super Bowl. They have played the
Cincinnati.
Game. Cincinnati. The Bengals. Yeah, I'm talking about the Bengals. Not Cincinnati has showed that consistency over the last 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. I'm leaning on that.
When you look at consistency from Philly, they made the playoffs the year before. Next year they come back, they get better, they go to the Super Bowl. I mean, this is 2 year back-to-back playoff team. The following year they go to the Super Bowl. They're starting to show some consistency.
It's mighty unique how you don't get a Cowboys that same. See how you just
Super Bowl, bro.
Okay, all right.
Cincinnati Bengals went to the Super Bowl.
Yes, I was.
Philadelphia Eagles.
I was there. I saw it.
That's
my own eyes.
No. I got it.
I'm not shooting no slugs at the Cowboys. We talking
all right.
We talking about teams that went to the Super Bowl.
I jumped.
Man said that told the truth. You and that truth. You and that damn truth of yours.
If the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl this year, you say consistent. That's three back-to-back playoff seasons and Super Bowl.
Right.
Hick trying to hop on me because I'm
what you say?
You and your truth over here. I don't want to hear that.
No.
So Cincinnati should be above Buffalo, to me.
One more thing I want to throw about the Bengals. They should be trying to get a contract done with Ezekiel Elliott. Because Joe Mixon has shown a propensity to be injured. 17-game season. Give me Mixon, Elliott. I think you can do something right there. I am one of the. I told somebody the other day, Zeke is wise. Cowboy be right. Zeke. I said he's not done. He's not done at all. I said you put him in the proper timeshare. I think he can really excel. If he went to a team and became the lead back, when you start to think about opportunities, I think the guy could get you 1,000 yards. Yeah. I do believe that. I just think when people leave here, especially stars on big contracts, it's almost as though we run them down extra. Terrence Newman left here. Man, people talk, they would just trash talk that guy. Dude was playing, he ripped some muscle from his abdomen. I mean, he was crazy. I talked to Tina. I said, Tina, why aren't you telling people what's going on? Well, I don't want anybody to think it's an excuse. And he's like, my teammates know what's going on. I said, but the problem is we in the public, especially me, we don't know.
No, yeah.
So people just thinking, you, Mr. Toasty Torch, can't guard anybody anymore. Guy went on to Cincinnati and Minnesota and played till he was 40-plus years old. But when he left, there was that remnant, good riddance. DeMarcus Ware. Yeah, man, he's not worth the production. All that old mess. Guy goes up to Denver.
Balls out.
mentors Von Miller, who becomes Super Bowl MVP. Now he's getting ready to go get a gold jacket this August. I feel that Ezekiel Elliott is getting some of that same thing where people are just adding extra salt onto this thing. And I think they're going to be mistaken if he goes to the right opportunity. Cincinnati, the Chargers, these are two organizations, in my opinion, who should put out a contract that's a fair contract. Maybe add some incentives in there, but I think Ezekiel Elliott can help them, and more importantly, help the quarterback. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, two-headed monster.
So Zeke going to fool with Kellen Moore?
You know what? If you're Kellen Moore and you're putting in your offense a guy that you know, and oh, by the way, what do we know this man can do? He can pass block. And if I'm about to give a big old fat contract to Herbert, Burrow, which both of these organizations are doing, I like to have somebody I know who can go ahead and take care of that job. Austin Eckler with the Chargers, right now he's not happy. Who knows where that goes? We saw what happened with Melvin Gordon. They don't suffer that. You're not about to hold them hostage.
Yeah.
Try to, sit if you want to. They don't care. But I just think of that player as this is a player who I believe that still has something there, and people can look up and like, oh, why did we let him go? He still had more, because we give guys extra rundown when they leave here.
I'm just thinking of the story. You know what I'm saying? Joe Burrow, Ohio State, before he went to LSU, and then Ezekiel Elliott going to Cincinnati. I think the story would be crazy. Now you got Ohio State and LSU connection in there, because you got Jamar Chase there, you got Joe Burrow, now you got Ezekiel Elliott, you got connections all over the place, you got a story to tell. And by the way, like you said, Joe Burrow also needs that pass protection as well. And Ezekiel Elliott, we've seen him be able to still make big-time runs. Okay, he's not breaking 60, 70 yards. But when you need 3 or 4, you need a guy that's going to pound to make sure that you're moving the sticks. Ezekiel Elliott can still get that done. So my vote would be, hey, man, you find a way to get to Cincinnati and go up there and make that thing happen. They were a play away from winning the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Well, their offensive line is still not elite. They don't have an elite offensive line. So that, to me, even more so why I would go out and get an Ezekiel Elliott to help protect Joe Burrow. But yes, the Ohio connection I did think of that as well. Cincinnati, Columbus, very close to each other, and he'd be in an area where he would have an automatic fan base. That organization through the years has favored taking Ohio State football players. So I just think between Mixon and Elliott and that division, where you guys know you got to play defense.
Right.
These games are nasty in December and January in that AFC North. That kind of ground game, added with the receivers they have. Right. Okay, they got weapons. This to me is where you improve, and a small move. If we look at it as a small move, there could be a big move down there.
No, both of you make great arguments, and I think what fortifies your argument is talking about Ezekiel Elliott from a pass blocking standpoint for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow has been getting punished. I mean, all of the success that he's had, he's one of the most sacked quarterback, pressured, hit quarterbacks in the NFL. And I've never understood Cincinnati's modus operandi when it comes down to how they recruit, how they draft, now they draft their offensive line, bring in offensive linemen. I knew they bought in La'el Collins. He's not healthy. I don't believe he's there anymore. I don't know this, but what I'm saying is that they have to get some type of help for Joe Burrow on that offensive line. Bigger than that, when you talk about when a guy leaves here, how he doesn't have anything left. I think that for Zeke, he's cashed in. He's got all the money. He doesn't really, what do you say, what do you have to play for other than a championship? Mm-hmm. That's the best. For me, that's what I'm looking at when they say Cincinnati. That gives you that opportunity. You're going to go play somewhere that's going to have a bona fide opportunity to play for a Super Bowl. And if he can remain healthy throughout the season, man, I mean, that's a great place for him to be. I'm still reserving hope.
For what?
For him to come back.
Is he going to take Stephon Gilmore's number?
Now he's going to take another number.
What number?
He's going to take his college number. Come on, man.
Listen, separate question. Is Joe Burrow about to start a trend? Because all the reports are saying that he's thinking about possibly taking into account his teammates and how much of the pie they may need in order for them to have the right players around them. And he's thinking about a guy like T. Higgins, who is looking for a deal. Do you see Joe Burrow taking a discount So he can make sure. I'm just asking.
Who is exactly?
I don't know. I'm just
That's
asking.
the bigger question. Who is his agent? Who is talking to this man? Because the last person we saw do that was Tom. Tom was the last person to do that.
I mean, it worked out for him.
It worked out perfect for him. But at some point, dog, you want to catch.
It is Tom and no one else.
And nobody else.
Tom out there like a hitchhiker alone.
Right? You know, nobody.
And he played for 20.
Hey, good for Tom.
Took a discount, and in the end,
the Mannings ain't never gave no dividend.
They ain't never gave no money back. Nobody ever leaves money on the table.
Aaron Rodgers ain't giving no discount.
Not a dime.
I'm just asking. The reports are out there. Do you think it's a possibility that he says, "Hey, man, I want to make sure I get some other people paid. Make sure this is at least structured in a way where we can get a guy like T. Higgins picked up because the T. Higgins, Jamar Chase connection with Joe Burrow is a big reason for them being able to go to the Super Bowl."
Personally, I'm skeptical.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, at least you're not saying it's a zero.
I'm skeptical because at the end of the day, and that's why I asked about the agent. What is the thing agents live on?
Percentages.
But agents also live on the fact, hey, Danny, you want to sign with me because I get my guys top dollar.
Yeah.
Now, heck, you saw Danny didn't get top dollar, right?
Yeah.
You want to go over there with his agent?
Ain't no way.
No. I'm going to sit in your living room and talk to you and your family. I'm here to get Heckma Harrison the top dollar because Heckma Harrison, you deserve it. This business, you can be gone tomorrow, but we ain't taking no discount. We get Heck everything you can get. It's not Heckma's job to save team money. That's what I'm saying where the agent thing comes in. That's what I'm saying. Who's his guy? Because these dudes live off this whole thing of being able to negotiate. I mean, they are dirty. I had a friend of mine who's an agent, still in the agency business, but the stuff he tell me, how they would do each other behind it, I'm like, I was like, man, how do you guys not throw blows when you
right?
see each other, man? Knowing people are doing this kind of, not only trying to take you away, but what they're using against you. So when you say that, if Joe Burrow's my client and he decides that he wants to take less, as an agent, I got to figure out how do I spin this? Do I spin this as, hey, Joe, you the working man of Cincinnati, and we about to set up this foundation too that feeds the kids in Central. I mean, I got to come up with some kind of way to spin this because it will be used against me.
Could that be a start for why it's coming out now? Could it be getting spin already? Hey, man, I'm just letting you know, man. Joe said. I'm doing everything I can to get him the most money, and Joe said he want to make sure he get his guy signed.
I mean, that's admirable. I love how that looks, but man, you better get your money.
Oh yeah, no, you should.
Now, I come back into this whole thing about Tom Brady. This is what I always used to say. Tom Brady's saving their money, but show me where the Patriots were out here spending big dollars on people. Hey, Wes Welker.
They never spent any money on anybody.
We ain't spending money on. I mean, Chandler Jones. Bye. I mean, that was my thing. Was Tom? You're saving their money, and eventually Tom was getting mad too. Like, I'm saving dollars. Where the dollars at? Now, yes, they were going to Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're like, hey, the recipe is here. We got it.
But you thinking, hey man, I'll take $10 less so I can bring Danny along. You know what they said up there? Bye, Danny.
Yeah.
Huh?
Now
I gave you $10 so you could bring Danny. Yeah, we just don't feel that way about Danny like you do.
If they did that to Joe, and Joe was like, man, I'm going to take less money so I can get T. Higgins paid and make sure he on the squad, and then Joe Burrow signed, and they're like, deuces, T. That'd be some of the dirtiest.
But you see, that's what
I'm saying you see, I still would be dirty. It still would be like, oh, man, they called him slipping.
Call up Devontae Adams. See how they got you, huh? They got you. Yeah, they did it to you, huh?
Oh, they did. Oh, God. Sniper.
Man.
They got Devontae. They did him dirty, boy.
Let's hit the break. When we come back, we had a Twitter question from a fan of the Players Lounge about Michael Gallup and how good is Michael Gallup and how should we view him? Let's do that next with Heckma Harrison, Danny McCray, Newey Scoresbury Church. The day off. This is Players Lounge brought to you by Tostitos on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Want to use the Cowboys locker room's favorite products? Check out the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. Right now, you can get the Jack Black Playmaker, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The Playmaker includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word Cowboys. The Jack Black Playmaker, $10, free shipping.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of you and everyone else absolutely loving new smoothie bowls from Smoothie King. And woo, me too. These smoothie bowls start with acai and pitaya and are handcrafted with fresh toppings like sliced bananas, sweet berries, crunchy Purely Elizabeth granola, and a savory peanut butter drizzle. New smoothie bowls, only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Head to the Miller Lite House at AT&T Stadium for the Dallas Cowboys Tacos and Tunes Festival presented by Miller Lite. Rescheduled to Saturday, June 3rd from 3 to 8 p.m. Enjoy a variety of tacos and food truck options while you sip on cold drinks and listen to live music. Admission and parking for the Dallas Cowboys Tacos and Tunes Festival are free. Visit attstadium.com/tacos and tunes for more information. See you there.
Good street tacos, boy, get you every time. Every time, my man. Every time. All right, Heckman Harrison, appreciate that. Danny McCray, former Dallas Cowboys safety, joining us right here. I'm Newey Scruggs. This is a Players Lounge brought to you by Tostitos. Michael L. sent me a tweet. And it says, I don't know if I asked you, but does one season make Michael Gallup great? Because I hear a lot of people talk about a below-average player. Can you ask the guys about it on the Players Lounge? Now, this is my response to him on Twitter, unless you guys react from that. I don't consider him a great wide receiver. He's not even a number one wide receiver. He's a good player, but great is something he has yet to achieve, in my opinion. That's what I said.
Yeah, who said, did he say somebody said he was great?
That's what he said.
What
he says, because I hear a lot of people talk about
him being great.
Right, he says, but does one season make him great? And he pointed out his career stats.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think he's great. Time, consistent.
Time proof consistency.
I don't think he's shown that. And then him not being healthy last year didn't help. Do I think that he is a hell of a deep threat? Absolutely. When he can stretch the field and go and make those 50-50 ball, catch those 50-50 balls, that's when he's at his best. It's not him running hitch routes and doing all that. When he can take the top off of the defense, that's when he's at his best. And I don't think last year he was able to do that because he wasn't able to come out of his cuts and people were able to just sit on every route that he ran. But I don't think he's great. I think he has some stuff to prove. And this year he'll be a number 3 receiver. So he's going to have a lot of stuff to prove. I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb. I'm serious. You got CeeDee Lamb.
And that's what
you got Cooks, and then you got Michael Gallup.
And that's what Michael here in his response to it, he says, I don't believe he's a number 2, but I'm just a fan. I'm just wondering what is everyone seeing that makes him say that. Hopefully he'll be himself this year. So that's what he put there.
When it comes to the argument about Michael Gallup, it's weird for me because I view him more than just what he's been pigeonholed into, and that's what you just said. Take the top off. He's a deep threat. He can only go balls, fade balls, post route. That's all he got in his repertoire. He's shown us over the years that he's more than that. And I think 2019 with him and Amari Cooper, that was the year that I thought with his 1,100-yard season that Michael is alluding to, the one year that ended up allowing him to get paid. I think you saw everything that he can bring to you out of his wheelhouse, but then obviously what has been the deterrent to his productivity has been the injuries. Mm-hmm. Him and CeeDee Lamb just haven't been able to mesh like a true 1-2 receiving core like you'd like to see like in Cincinnati and places like that because of his injuries. But finally, hopefully, I think the thing is that the Cowboy front office has wanted that. They see the potential for that. And when he did his interview, I believe it was a week ago, I don't know which one of our beat writers it was with, but he basically said, look, I'm happy to be back into to come back into headquarters. I'm feeling more confident in my knee coming back from an ACL injury. that to me gives you the pause or the belief that Michael Gallup can resurrect his career from being that guy that's often injured to giving you the 1,100 yards. But here's the question that I have for y'all. What is productivity for your number two? Because for me, a name brand number one wide receiver is going to give you 13 to 15 double-digit touchdowns. We've yet to get that from CeeDee Lamb, the double-digit touchdowns, but he's on the cusp of that, I believe, this season. For Michael Gallup, if you get 5 to 8, 7 or 8 touchdowns, to me, that's what you want from a number two receiver. And let's not act like the number two receiver in Dallas hasn't been the tight end.
No, you're right. Well, first I want to go back to saying I want to make sure nobody believes that I'm pigeonholing Michael Gallup into saying that all he could do is run deep routes. I'm saying when he's at his best,
that's what he do.
He is the guy, right? When the defensive coordinator is looking at guys, he's saying, CeeDee Lamb, we got to make sure we don't let him do this. Michael Gallup, you got to make sure you don't let him get to this part of the field because if he does, he's going to wreck our game. Is what I'm saying. I'm saying he can still run all the routes, but the part that fears defensive coordinators is him taking the top off the defense. Number two, man, like when you look around the league and we just talked about Cincinnati and what those two receivers are able to do. Jamar Chase is a number one.
Absolutely.
And then when you look at T. Higgins, number two, and he's trying to get paid because he's putting up over 1,000 yards, and I don't know how many touchdowns he had, but he's a force out there.
Yeah.
Even when you look at Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen had more touchdowns in the previous 2 years than Justin Jefferson did. So I think it was double digits.
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
So when you're looking at guys who are number twos in this day and age of the receiver, they essentially you have to be able to say, hey, man, he probably could go be a number one on another team. That's what people are looking at for some of their number twos, especially for a team like the Cowboys. Who's our number two this year? Cooks. Number one on any other team. He was number one out there in Houston, and he played like a number one out there in New Orleans, and was very, very competitive out there in L.A.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about the number two guys, you got to say, hey, man, this dude right here, if he's not on this team, somebody's probably paying him to be a number one. Do you see that in Michael Gallup?
I don't. And the reason why I don't see that is because of the injuries. I think previous to that, I would have said, based off of that 1 year, this kid, he can go somewhere and be a number one. He was trending in that direction, and the injuries derailed him.
Gotcha.
When I think of number two, just listen to our conversation right now. T. Higgins. I think Odell Beckham Jr. when he was with the Rams. And
Absolutely.
That Super Bowl year. Cleared number
But that's
two.
the season Cooper Kupp had crazy numbers.
Won the Triple Crown. But I'm just saying that, boom, here's your two. Devontae Smith in Philadelphia. I think of him as a two. Thielen, last year Minnesota. You got Jefferson, here's Thielen. Mike Williams out there with the Chargers. You got Keenan Allen here. Michael Gallup is not in that realm of receiver. Mm-hmm. When I'm thinking about what these guys do, I don't see him in that fashion. And so he's got work to do to get there. That's when we talk about where a guy is and where you see him, he's not in that conversation yet. He's got work to do to get himself in there.
Like I said, if for me, the numbers for Michael Gallup isn't 1,000 yards. The numbers for Michael Gallup is between 700 and 800 yards, and possibly having that Adam Thielen 10 touchdown year, because everybody's double teaming on CD on the outside. That's the success for me as a number two. Because Adam Thielen, his numbers are 716 last year, 726 the year before, and his best season 928 and 925 in 2020. So,
but number of touchdowns in those seasons.
14, 10, and 6.
Yeah. So
14, 10, and 6.
He gonna throw the 700-800 yards out there.
No. What did I say is the best? If you would aspire to, everybody wants 14 touchdowns. Even as a number one receiver, you want 14 touchdowns off the rip. Yeah. But I think for Michael Gallup, let's go back to CeeDee Lamb. If CeeDee Lamb has 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, he is crowning himself as the number one receiver. We just hadn't seen him ascend to that level as far as the production is there, the yardage is there, but the touchdowns haven't been there.
Listen, let's just answer this question here because you brought it up, and I want to know your opinion. Who is our number 2 receiver right now?
Cooks.
So why are we asking if Michael Gallup can be? He's not even the number 2 on our squad right now.
Right, and even Michael, who had sent us the Twitter, he said he's not a number 2, but to me, he's always been a 3. When I think of, go back to old school, Rams, it was Isaac Holt. I mean, it was Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. Then it was Azekim.
Right.
I look at Gallup like that.
Azekim.
Yeah. When the Cowboys had Kelvin Martin, number 3 guy, damn sure effective right there. But you had Urban, you had Harper. Boom. Next thing you know, Kelvin Martin out here catching. Bam. Forgot about Kelvin Martin. That's what I look at Michael Gallup as. Right now, that's what he's shown you in his best.
Yeah.
It's in that spot. If he wants to be considered a 2 and move up to that, then yeah, you got to go there. I know he said before, hey, I like to think, I'm a number 1 receiver, and that's fine. But right now, and that's my biggest thing is right now, what old Bill Parcells, all I can go by is what I see.
Yeah.
By the way, with the Smoothie King, your man Danny here talking about the acai, bruh.
That's the one?
Bro, this is good.
At first, I thought you were eating beans with, and I was like, what has got beans with blueberries and strawberries? That's
granola.
The granola set it off.
Oh,
the
man,
granola set it off.
No, man, this is good now.
It looks good.
No, it's good. I appreciate you, man.
Do we all trust Devontae Adams and his opinion on receivers and the skill positions in the league?
Yeah.
Okay, because he said our guy's top 5. He says CeeDee Lamb is a top 5 receiver in the league. And I'm leaning towards believing him just based off what we seen him do last year and kind of the deficiencies that we had on our offense. I think that this year revamped with Mike McCarthy as the play caller. I think we see CeeDee Lamb. He took off last year, but I think he ascends to that, like what you said, crowning himself, one of the top guys in the league.
By the way, the NFL owners' meetings are going. Look who's sitting down there on the microphone talking. Joe Witt Jr., the Cowboys secondary defensive passing game coordinator. Look at him getting some love.
He better
talking to us, Steve Weiss and Steve Weiss and Judy.
Oh, he got some guys.
He got some guys, all right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, and once again, they should be looked at as the strength of this football team. And if Mike McCarthy becomes a play caller, we think, then the offense should be able to complement this defense even more. Let's take our final break. When we come back, let's dive into what we do. Joe Witt Jr. here. I got some opinions about this coach next. Let's dive into that with Heckma Harrison, Danny McCray, New East Coast Players Lounge, brought to you by Tostitos on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of you and everyone else absolutely loving new smoothie bowls from Smoothie King. And woo, me too. These smoothie bowls start with acai and pitaya and are handcrafted with fresh toppings like sliced bananas, sweet berries, crunchy Purely Elizabeth granola, and a savory peanut butter drizzle. New smoothie bowls, only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
Want to use the Cowboys locker room's favorite products? Check out the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. Right now, you can get the Jack Black Playmaker, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The Playmaker includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word Cowboys. The Jack Black Playmaker, $10, free shipping.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The schedule is set, and limited tickets for the 2023 Dallas Cowboys season at AT&T Stadium are available now. Don't miss your chance to see your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host the NFC East rivals Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Rams, Seahawks, Patriots, Lions, and Jets. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium.
Heckman Harrison, appreciate you. Got Danny McCray, former Cowboys safety. I'm Louis Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge, brought to you by Tostitos, Berry Church with the day off. Okay, so right now on NFL Network, they're interviewing our guy Joe Witt Jr. is the Cowboys secondary pass game coordinator here. Longtime coach with Mike McCarthy. Is this the best secondary, talking corners and safeties combined, that we've seen here in, I don't know, almost a decade coming into this year? Potential?
More than that, because I got here in 2010, and I don't remember us having guys like that. Like, I remember we drafted him on. We had B. Carr, and the expectation was what these guys have already done. But Stephon Gilmore has been a top guy in the league for the last 7 years. And then you got Trayvon Diggs, who led the league in interceptions a year prior to this one, and then now he stepped up his game. He didn't have as many interceptions, but as far as his coverage and technique, I thought he got a lot better. So if you say, all right, now you got Stephon Gilmore and you got Trayvon Diggs ascending and becoming a better player, yeah, you definitely got a top 5 duo in the league. And, oh, by the way, you got 3 great safeties. You just paid one. And then you got Hooker and you got Curse as the leader of the secondary. Yeah, man, you should be feeling really good about your secondary room right now.
Yeah, I feel so good about the addition of Stephon Gilmore, and based off of everything that you said of him being the man all these years in the league, but his ability to play man, set you up, be in zone, his just overall football IQ, I think, just really reeks of what we've needed. They've needed a guy like him for a very long time. They've tried to depend on Anthony Brown to be that, and we've seen several games where just Anthony Brown did not live up to the billing of the contract or any of that. The safety's also really what gives me the most confidence. When you sign a guy like Donovan Wilson for over the last couple of years, seemed like he was on the outs. Mm-hmm. And then Dan Quinn comes in, and the next thing you know, he has a completely resurgence, renewing of his career. And I think him and his ability with Jerron Kearse as just enforcers back there against the run game, but also in passing when you have Malik Hooker that you can also bring in those sub packages. I mean, believe it or not, a lot of teams go, 5, 6 deep. You don't have as many as you possibly can. It's because of this passing league that we have. But Stephon Gilmore, Trayvon Diggs, to me, on paper, look like one of the tops in the NFC East. And that's knowing what we have over in Philly and everywhere else. I just think they're the best.
And, oh, by the way, who led the team in interceptions last season that I forgot to mention? Was it Deron Bland? Mm-hmm. Don't forget the rookie who came in and showed that he can take the ball away. Absolutely. And make a huge impact on the defense. So now you got Stephon Gilmore, you got Trayvon Diggs, you got Deron Bland, you got Malik Hooker, you got Jerron Kearse. You're just looking at this, you say, you know what, we should be okay no matter what happens. You got an injury, then you got a little depth at the cornerback position as well. Yeah, you should be okay.
And the other question is going to be, is Jordan Lewis going to be, what's going to be his timeline on returning as well? That's important.
I forgot.
Yeah.
J-Lou. And what's going to make this secondary even better, potentially? Mazi Smith. Mm-hmm. And I think that fans who, and this is a shame because I saw that rookie, they did out the LA Coliseum for the Panini trading cards. They brought out all the rookies. And Deuce Vaughn got to go out and be a part of the rookie trade.
Yeah, and Shoemaker.
Yeah, Schoon and Deuce, first round pick. I mean, rare is it that Dallas Cowboys first round draft pick is not in that shoot. It is rare, and Mazi was not there, and I hate it for him because what he does is not something just you can write down statistically. It's what other people are able to do. It's almost like being an offensive lineman, having that kind of position he has in the D-line. But his ability to help stop the run and force teams eventually into 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8, that's going to make those guys back there better. because they know they're going to have to pass. They're going to know what to do. So I really think that a guy like Mazi Smith, fans who may not be up on what he does, he's going to help you. And that's how he gets helped is defensively, man. They're going to be put in some good situations.
Listen, he's a first-round defensive tackle pick, all right? And with this being a passing league and how things have changed, then you have to look at guys like Vita Vea and Hargrave, and you say, you know what? Can you make an impact from that position? Absolutely. He may have not had that type of gameplay when he was in college because you're in college. You're not around a guy like Dan Quinn, right? So you start adding tools to your game, and all of a sudden you say, all right, the Mazi Smith that you watched and you thought that was the position that he was only going to be able to play, oh, man, Dan Quinn got his hands on him, and he showed him this is how you do this. This is the move you need to make. This is how you read this. And all of a sudden you're saying, oh, wait, hold on, wait. He have how many sacks from the
Vince Wilfork, what he did, how Bill Belichick was able to utilize his services. I just think those guys are so important. And I think of Bill Parcells when he had Leonard Marshall up front and Jim Burt. You guys like that help other players. And that's where, to me, that secondary, they get more help because now you just can't run up the gut on the Cowboys. And now it's second and two.
Mm-hmm. But the other thing, Nui, is the fact that you have players like that. They're not stat sheet guys. If they're not going to do anything that you notice, and oh my God, he had this many tackles for loss. What he's going to do is gobble up blocks, and he's going to make life a lot easier for Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence, and other players.
And
that's what I'm saying. That is what this defense has needed. When we saw in those games where the running game got going against Green Bay, when other teams capitalized on the running game, it was because we were not stopping the run, and even when they take advantage in the passing game, we're not pushing the pocket. We're not making the quarterback uncomfortable back there, even with Micah on the field. So that's where I think when you have a player like Mazi that, look, man, as dimensional as his game is, I think he's going to add to your secondary, to your point, to make them that much better because now you're able to present so much more pressure.
Warren Sapp always said this: the back don't work without the front. And
he had a good front, boy. Cool.
Yeah, and I was watching a clip from Jack Lambert, and they were talking about the '76 Pittsburgh Steelers that didn't win the Super Bowl but lost in the AFC Championship game without an effective Rocky Bleier and Franco Harris. But up front, they were so good that Jack Lambert and Jack Ham had Hall of Fame careers off the dudes up front, and in the back you got Mel Blount. I mean, their secondary was just either they were lighting you up, hitting you because you touched it, they cracked back on you, or they were intercepting the ball. But everything started up front. And that's that same thing when Warren Sapp talked about Tampa. Hey, the back don't work without the front. And that's the same thing here. The back here, we see what the back and the Cowboys potentially can be. It can be pretty good. It can be really good. You get that front up there, that's where Diggs might be able to lead the league in interceptions. Or even Gilmore can return to that Defensive Player of the Year form. There could be something. I'll tell you, if I was one of these defensive guys, I'd be bringing in lunch. I'd be bringing in donuts for these dudes up front here because, hey, guys, you do your thing.
They drafted him in the first round. I'm telling you, I believe that they see more in him than just being a guy who could take up blocks. I think they see some potential in him to where he can be a force in the passing game, not just pushing the pocket, but teaching him some moves to make him be a guy who they say, hey, man, we need to make sure we block that guy or he's going to wreck our game. For you to go pick a defensive tackle in the first round, a Dan Quinn type of guy who specializes in defensive line, I think he sees more than just a guy who's he's going to teach how to, hey, man, hit and extend and then stay in your gap. I think I see more than that.
I said it from the beginning. I wanted who Dan Quinn wanted. And if it was Mazi Smith, then I'm in agreement to that. My whole thing and what I've been thinking about is who else is going to benefit up front from Mazi's presence. I think it's going to be hard for him just to be a one-trick pony and just to be a guy. I'm gobbling up 2 and 3 guys at a time to allow these other guys to run. They're going to put a package in that's going to allow him to get to the quarterback. But guys like Dorrance Armstrong has got to be licking his chops. A guy that had a great season last season, but will benefit as well. You talk about Osa Digizua being a guy that's going to benefit. There's so many guys that can benefit by having a true one tech that can gobble the way that Mazi Smith is potentially going to do.
What if you took, and we've seen Dan Quinn do it, you take Osa out, put Tank on the D-line, inside, at a D-tackle spot with Mazi. Then you got Parsons on one spot, Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. They can come up with some schemes here. So that portion is pretty good. But, man, I hate the fact that a guy like Mazi Smith did not get the opportunity to go out here to get his picture, man, the trading card picture.
You were thrown off by that. When you saw Deuce Vaughn, you was like, hey, what's going on here? Oh, they went with the flash, man.
And once again, you hate that part. Like, guys, he may not be, quote-unquote, sexy to you right now, but start winning. You know, Vince Wilfork looked real sexy for Tom Brady and everybody else.
Absolutely.
You know, those guys matter. Booker McFarland matter. I mean, you get those big boys up there, man. They matter. Sam Adams, Tony Saragusa with the Ravens, man. These dudes matter. If we're talking about football, this is what it should be. Right. And you know, ain't nothing wrong with the kids seeing, hey, man, this guy's a defensive tackle. Up there taking on He-Man, up here taking on folks. I mean, I hate that for the young men.
We'll talk about this before we get out of here. Hey, man. Hey, your guy.
What about?
Okay, he making the man want everybody jersey, don't he? The man
Listen,
call him out. The man said, "Hey, it was a Tatum." He said, "Hey, man, do you have on a Philly jersey?"
Listen, man. Can I say this? I want to say this about that. When you ball like Michael Parsons, you can wear whatever jersey you want to wear.
No, it's not about wearing. No,
when you Michael Parsons, you can wear whatever you want to wear.
When the player on the opposing team said, "Hold on, wait, you want my jersey? You just had on the rival."
Michael Parsons can wear whatever you want
out
to.
Here like Drake, man.
The bazooka can wear whatever he want to wear.
No, it wasn't about him wearing the jersey, bro. He got on the Philly jersey from the Philly player, and then the Celtics player is like, "Hold on, bro, did you just have?" Nah,
you sitting courtside over there with them.
Yeah, so not about you. Yeah, wear whatever jersey you want to.
Go to South Beach, showing up with Jimmy Butler jersey.
He even said it himself. He said, "Man, hey, next year, hey, nah."
Time out, Michael Parsons. Time out.
Michael might be in Miami in a Heat jersey next year.
He knows. He said next year he gonna pick one team and stick with him because he understands. So we ain't saying nothing that there ain't nobody else saying. He came out and said it himself.
There ain't no good look.
Man, you wear whatever you want to, Bazooka.
You look like Drake.
But get you a team, bro. Get you a team.
His team. I thought his team was Golden State.
You don't know what his team is because he's
How about don't wear a jersey? Just wear the one that will give you in your locker.
Well, y'all ain't right, man. Get off. Hey, man, get out the briefcase, man. Y'all know how I feel, man.
He took it in stride. He knows.
So is he gonna show? I mean, is he gonna show up in South Beach because they going to the finals?
Yeah, he gonna show up. Show up in South Beach, Michael, with your Heat jersey on, bro.
OTA about to start, man. He focused.
No, that's right.
OTA about to start. He focused. All right.
Where Jamal Murray?
Man,
that's Heck Harris.
He gonna start getting that. Who got put out the LA Chargers arena? Who was that? Acho. They gonna be like, nah, your courtside tickets are no longer available, dog.
Yeah, he couldn't get that press pass. Yeah, no sideline passes for you. Yeah. So he was up in the stands taking pictures with people.
Rest in peace, Jim Brown.
Yeah.
The greatest football player of all time. Period.
Yeah.
Don't tell me Tom Brady. No, it's Jim Brown. It is Jim Brown, one of the three most intimidating people I've ever been able to interview in sports. Jim Brown, great guy. Got to meet him in Cleveland. Back when they used to let the media eat with the team, he walked in there. Belichick was a head coach at the time, and then Art Modell was the owner. You would have thought Jim owned the team. You'd have thought, because the way they respected him and reviewed, I was like, wow, I'd never seen pro players treat another dude like that. Like, it was royalty up in this mug.
Yeah.
He was that kind of guy, man. He was that kind of guy. And then when he was in L.A., man, he was always kind to me, man. Just Jim Brown, greatest football player of all time. Period. Danny McCray, Heckman Harrison, I'm Newey Scruggs for Chris Beam, Jazz, Big Will. Everybody's a part of this. We appreciate you checking out the Players Lounge, brought to you by Tostitos on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!